So welcome. Today's live is going to have a guest, and I'm really excited to. We haven't had a live since the Hurricane Helene in the Carolinas, and so she's coming on soon. We're going to be talking about women because I think that I'm all with Bear in the Woods, and while we wait for her, oh, there she is. Okay, Rachel, thank you. So. Um, Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story because I think it's the story of women. Women need to understand what's going on out there with women. Not all women, just like not all men. So go ahead and share what happened and why it's important for us to share this with other women. Why it's really important. Go ahead, my love. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tony, for having me. So, I'm gonna share a story, and I'm laughing just because I'm honestly still just baffled. And my husband, who's a wonderful man, he sees it as like not a big deal. But for me, I'm like, no, this is women need to understand that one, this isn't acceptable behavior, but two, also this could happen to your man, and hopefully that you've chosen a man who would react the same way my husband did. And so my husband went fishing this morning, and two women were walking in their pajamas, by the way, down the street that's down by a river near our house. And he just wanted some time alone to connect and just decompress. And they started out kind, and the one woman had said to him, beautiful morning or beautiful view, isn't it? And he was polite and said yes. And then he went to go about his business, and she said to him, I would love, what did she say to him? Um, oh,
Oh, what happened? Okay, it looks like we lost you. Okay, this is weird. Yeah, go ahead.
wow. Okay, so she said, I would love to jump your bones, to which my husband said he was happily married. And what that wasn't even the interesting remark to me. The interesting remark to me is he said as she was walking away, he could still hear their conversation, and she had said, "How do I get a man like that?" To which I said, "You should have responded and said to her, you will not get a respectable man, one, wearing your pajamas walking down the street, but two, using your foul mouth. You're not going to find a respectable man that is going to have any respect for you whatsoever when the first thing that you're saying to him is, I'd love to jump your bones sometime. That's not going to get you a respectable man." So, and I said, if it were me, obviously I'm a woman, but I would have called her out. I would have had said, you're not going to until you respect yourself. Because one, you don't respect yourself. You're walking down the street in your pajamas. You didn't even have the decency to, put on walking attire or, even like, a nice outfit to go walking down the street. Nothing. You just got up in your pajamas and decided to walk down the street. Which also led me to believe that possibly, because I did ask him, what did she look like? What was her age? He said she looked about our age, which we're in our 30s, our mid to late 30s. And I said, it would not surprise me if she was a call girl or a prostitute of some sort, because unfortunately that is becoming common in our area. But I said her comment afterward makes me feel like she's not.
Yes.
But I said, you should have said to her respectfully, if you want a man like me, then you're going to have to change you. And that starts with how you present yourself, but also the way that you're talking to men, because clearly you don't respect yourself because you just threw yourself at me.
Yeah, but to be fair, he wanted to extract himself from that energy,
Yes.
and I agree with him. Okay,
Yeah.
that type of schooling comes from us, not from a man. I'm going to be straight up with you. That's the kind of schooling that a man just wants to get away from that situation because women are dangerous. When they're
Yes.
of that mentality, they'll scream, "You try to assault me! You try." I mean, there's a famous story in the Old Testament. And again, this is from all of the shit I read when I was in the Lutheran school in Hong Kong when I was 14. I'm shocked. I'm remembering. I forgot the characters, but all I know is, oh yeah, Joseph's coat. Joseph's coat. I think it's Joseph's. What was it? Joseph, right? The Technicolor code, the rainbow code. Anyway, this Pharaoh's wife wants to have sex with Joseph and says, if you don't, I'll say that you raped me. And he is under duress. He's being lied about. So he's thrown in jail because she actually does lie. She goes through it. Women have done that with African American men. That's why we've had the issues. Well, it's one of the many reasons why we had strange fruit. And so women, I'm all about women empowerment. I'm also about male empowerment. But let's not put women on a pedestal, because right now, and I'm going to piggyback on that for a minute, if you don't mind, because it's a public service announcement. There are women that are going to come up to you. If you're a woman, be careful. There are 300 women that have disappeared in the state of Washington, apparently, from abductions in parking lots where women are going up to women asking for directions with a post-it note of your address or something like that. And then you touch it, or it could be a Bible, it could be the Quran, it could be anything, okay, whatever. And you touch it, and they literally, it has a substance that makes you start getting dizzy, and they're abducting women. So what they're saying to women is, if that happens, please go into a very public place, cry out for the police, an ambulance, tell them whatever until you can get secured. But women 35 to 58 are being abducted. It's happening now, and it's women coming up to women. See, that's the bitch of it. So not only, and I'm going to start sharing some stories because I've had a lot of male friends, and I've had very frank discussion with my brother, my husband, my beloved, right? And some of the shit I've heard is unfucking hinged. Like, do you want to fuck? Literally, just boom, do you want to fuck? My son's been sent nudies on women he doesn't even know. Like, seriously, like on some of these messengers. Apparently, you can send your pictures in some, I guess, on Instagram or whatever, or links. And when he says no, they call him gay. For example, oh, you're gay because you don't want to just fuck, you don't want to just hook up. So there's some nasty, nasty, nasty women out there. Okay, so when people say bear in the woods, I would caution you with not all men and not all women are great. Not all women have your back. Some women are fucking dangerous as fuck. And if you do not do what they want you to do as a man, they will set you up. And women have set men up to go to jail. In fact, one of the men I know was going through a divorce, and she basically lied and said that he was insane. He was on a 72-hour hold, and in that 72-hour hold, all he did was meditate. And he realized he wasn't crazy. She was lying. Women can be absolutely the most dangerous, maniacal human beings. So what we're looking at here is not gender, is my point. Just like looking in leadership, we're not looking for a woman to be president. We're looking for a good human being to be a president, for example. What are your thoughts? What other thing? Because I know you've heard of other women basically going up to men saying, do you want to fuck? Not kidding. Just boom. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know people who have had inappropriate things sent to them, even on like the most random of apps, like just in like Facebook Messenger. They've been sent inappropriate, and that's one of the reasons why my husband doesn't have social media, is because of that. It's not just women who are getting the messages in their inbox constantly. I know women too have been sent inappropriate pictures in their inboxes too, but I know men as well that have gotten inappropriate, and when you go on social media, they target men with pornography. They do. Everything that they see on social media is half naked women bouncing around or doing something. I can't even get on my Instagram now without seeing half naked women 99% of the time. So I can't imagine, if I changed my profile and said I was a man, what my, For You page would look like on my social media platform. I can't even fathom that. So for me, it's not just happening to women. It's meant to, and you've talked about the root chakra grab. This is also what it looks like, but it's happening
Right.
not just on social media, but in real life. Women aren't the only ones getting catcalled. Men are quite literally, I mean, my husband was alone by the river. Had this woman wanted to continue to harass him, she very much could have done that. But thankfully, you know,
Absolutely.
he
That's why,
exited the situation, and that was that.
yeah, that's why him saying very little was perfect. Because to be honest with you, somebody that unhinged in pajama bottoms, I mean, let's be honest, that's trash. I'm just gonna say sorry, girls, if I offend you. Fucking put on some leggings, man. What does it take? Um, just have some respect, okay? But it shows the mentality and the fact that she was that comfortable. And it's weird how it starts young, because I remember my brother, I mean my brother, yeah, actually my brother, actually, when he was 13, and we're talking about the 1980s, folks. This isn't a new thing because of the internet. We've always had women like that through the century. I just shared the Joseph story back in the Old Testament. We've always had women like that. And so again, it goes back to the integrity of the soul, which is genderless. Ultimately it has nothing. We need to start realizing that as a people. That's the only reason why I wanted you to share your stories. Not so much that, oh my god, this is so insane, I've never heard of that. It's to illustrate, because this is a good launching point to discuss that we need to start looking at wisdom and goodness, not from a gender point of view or a race or religion point of view. It is about integrity, and it doesn't come from gender. Women aren't necessarily going to be better allies than a man, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And this is something we have to, like, this is the stripping away of the false egoic persona, our own and others. What are your thoughts on that, spiritually speaking? Because there is a spiritual lesson here to tear it down.
No, I agree, and I know you've done lives on really honing in on heart coherence, and this is exactly an example of that. It's the heart coherence of, knowing whether or not someone is a good person, and how does my body feel when I'm around this person. Do I turn away from them? Do I turn towards them? How does my heart feel? How does my solar plexus feel? And I feel like I don't know if it was a lesson for my husband or more so for me, but possibly both. But I'm still just baffled. I'm like, I can't believe, like, you went to go have a moment of,
It's ruined.
yeah, peace, and like this woman just happened to come in and basically not. And he said it didn't ruin his day.
Oh, I hear you.
Um,
But because it wasn't like some men who go, "Oh, you're a bitch." You basically, they compliment you as a woman, and you're enjoying your day at the park. This is the one, and you're going to read and journal and meditate, and some schlepper comes in and starts abusing you because you don't want to give them their phone number. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it goes both ways. Like, I'm not, but the thing is, that's why he only said what he said. I'm a happily married man, and left it at that, because, to be honest, I think some men get really uncomfortable. Like, my husband had to quit a job because his female boss kept harassing him. And he was terrified of being accused of sexually harassing her, like she turned the table. I'm not joking, man. This shit is crazy out there. People need to, like, I don't know how else to say it, but fucking get some sexual help. Get some therapy, man. If you need to get laid like that badly, that you have to, like, gut on someone's space and you're going to harass them. I know dealt with that in the 80s, where I had to quit a job because my boss was harassing me when I was in my 20s. I was wearing sack dresses to, like, downgrade my looks. And to be honest, I mean, I was a 20-year-old kid. I didn't have mentors or this and that. And my point is, it is harming to a human being. You can't do this shit to people. Like, if somebody says, no, I don't want to give you my number, I don't want to give you my name, we need to call these people out when they harass men or they harass women. We need to protect people who need protection, validation, also to be witnesses in case it goes sideways. Don't you think? I mean, because I feel like he did the right thing. I know what you feel, Rachel, in terms of, I wish you had said XYZ. We're not here to educate assholes. He's not here to educate. His job was to extricate himself from any further conversation, not to educate her.
right. I agree. I agree.
For his own safety. For his own safety, to be honest with you. You see what I'm saying? Because she could have gone stupid on him.
Right. And she had another friend with her. So had the friend gone along with it, you know what I mean? It's 2 against 1 at that point.
Exactly. And that's my point. And they could have said anything they wanted to the cops. I'm calling the cops. I'm going to say that you harass, you know what I mean? And just go with it.
Right.
You have to understand the mentality of women like that. It'll go. We don't know where it's going. Okay. We have, it could go from 0 to 120 in a few seconds. So to be honest with you, and this is something moving forward, all of us need to understand on every level of ascension, we are not to educate the assholes. We are here to say actually nothing and keep walking our path. We're not here to educate them, convince them, debate them, educate them, heal them. No, we're here to fucking walk away and keep on moving. So the only thing I ask is if you see somebody being harassed, stand witness, record it, and say, are you okay? Can I help you with that? Because you don't want them to be a victim. Because again, and it's weird how women don't realize how often men are victimized, harassed, sexually harassed. It's shocking. And when they don't want to have sex with you, when the man says no, I've heard stories of women calling the police. And it's not isolated. It's not a 1 in a million. There's some really sick bitches out here. They're sick as fuck, and all they want is attention. They see their validation through the male gaze. Any attention is good attention, and they'll do whatever they need to get it. And it's about an ego. It's about a score. They want to score. Have you ever come across other women that you knew were like that? Because I've come across where I had to drop them on the side of the road because I was like, oh yeah, we're not doing this. This is not a friendship I'm pursuing at all. You know?
I thankfully have not. Not that I can recall. Been I always, I always kind of steered clear. I mean, I had, in my younger 20s, like part of me does kind of understand why these women are doing it, and it to me, if you were to ask me, it is like a trauma response of needing that attention and wanting to be desired, and wanted, but it's just not a healthy. I would have never, not in my 20s, not in my 30s now. I just can never imagine myself walking up to a random stranger that I don't know, as attractive as they are, and saying what she said to my husband. I just could never fathom it. It just shows a lack of just ultimate disrespect for yourself, for the other person too, but more for like the self. Like you clearly do not have any self-respect whatsoever at all.
But that's yes. I remember there was a guy, a young man, who was actually doing videos. You know, I don't know. He might still be doing it. Videos where he would go up to girls and say, "Do you want to hook up?" And I swear to God, these girls, I would say almost 50% of the girls would go, "Yeah," and they wouldn't even know where we're gonna do it. Swear to God on camera, and they did not even know the guy's name interviewing. He goes, "Oh, it was just it was just it's a social experiment, right?" But the point is, 50%. So to balance this out, there was a girl in a black T-shirt and black jeans walking through New York City. Every borough of New York City being catcalled, followed. I want to just balance this out to make sure that you guys don't think we're female bashing. We're not. We're bashing bullshit. And it comes in both genders. And women are not fucking cool. Some women will go, well, I'll give you an example. I'm just going to say, what's her name? Married to Jeff Bezos. She went after a married man. I don't give a fuck what you think. Jeff Bezos and that bimbo, they're not twin flames. I'll tell you that now. Not at all.
Oh yeah, the guy that works for Jeff Bezos, like an accountant or something, right? That got caught at that concert.
No. I'm talking about Jeff Bezos marrying that girl, that woman.
Okay.
I forgot her name, but she was a reporter, and they met, and she knew that Jeff Bezos. If you look at the difference between Jeff Bezos' first wife and the one he married now, it's like the first wife was really about the light. You could tell she's a good woman. She's actually a billionaire in her own right, but she's a really good woman. You could see he actually traded in a loyal, good woman for a social climber. But this social climber knew he was married. there could be a soul connection, but I know it's not a twin flame. I already know. Because, and why do I know? Because she's seen flirting with Leonardo DiCaprio at her wedding. So, and so right off the bat, because usually twin flames, they have only eyes for each other and saying they're obsessed with each other. Okay, that's flag one. But my point to you, unless they're addicted to shit, okay, just to make sure I've covered every base. But my point to you is that at we have to look at the fact that there are women who want to be sugar babies. They want to be mistresses. They don't care if the man's married. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Andrew Tate's a perfect example, and I keep saying it like this: he's got 10 bitches on the payroll. All of them are as baby mamas. I think he's got like 12 kids or 10 kids. I don't know how many, but they all know about each other, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't love him. They love his ATM. They love the things he can give them. And so we do have women that are very mercenary. They're barracudas, just like we have men that are weak and massively dangerous because of their weakness, like incels. And there was a woman who had to break up with her boyfriend on camera in a public place, and he was a little troll. He looked like a little troll, and he was dangerous. You could see that he was actually dangerous. And had she not taken him to this public place, meaning a cafe, with a team of people, of men who were helping her break up safely, he's so dangerous that she probably needs to move. She probably needs to change her address. So don't get me wrong when I say what I say. I just want to make sure there's a balanced view as to what's happening. And good-looking men are targets as well. And there's no age limit. My brother, who was 13 years old, clearly looked 13, trust me, was getting hit by women in their 20s. And I don't mean 20, I mean like 27. And I remember going, what the fuck? Do you want me to say something? And of course, my brother, being a young boy, trained to think this was normal, said, no, I'll handle it. But my point is, I was seeing it in action going, how could it's obvious he's 13. So we can talk about, trauma and abuse, early childhood abuse. But again, this is not to denigrate people who've had serious sexual abuse, because it is, the PTSD is off the charts. But I will say that a lot of us have been abused, and we're not pedos, and we have integrity, and we've recreated ourselves. We've reset ourselves. What are your thoughts? Because I don't think that's a good enough excuse to say, oh, they have trauma. We all have trauma. Pretty much every human being walking the planet. There's probably a very small percentage that I've met, that have had absolutely no traumatic beginnings of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse. Small number. What are your thoughts? Because I don't think it's an excuse.
Yeah, I don't think it's an excuse either, as someone who's been, sexually abused, groomed. I think at some point the adult has to realize that they're self-imploding and that they need to take responsibility for dealing with that trauma. I mean, I realized it in my 20s that I was self-imploding and acting out, and I was by no means an innocent young 20-some-year-old. I mean, there were things that I could talk about that I did that I cringe at now at 35 years old and can't believe that I did. But it was because I wasn't ready to deal with the trauma. And I think that's a big part of a lot of these men and women who are doing what they're doing, is they're not dealing with the trauma. They're not healing. They're not working on, their frequency is low. And so when your frequency is low, that's to me what it looks like. It's this self-implosion. And then it just spews out onto other people, and it's unfortunate. But I think something that people who are not in that low frequency, and like people like myself and like you, Tony, and my husband, he thankfully was not a frequency match and did not play into whatever it is that she wanted. And I think that because me and my husband work on that energetic protection and shielding, that it probably is one of the reasons why she did just continue to walk away, because he pushed that energy out and away.
Exactly. I remember my twin got actually proposed at a coffee shop when he was, and we're talking about he's 75 years old. And she was in her 30s going, hey, I got, do you want to come and just fuck? And he was like, no, thank you. I'm good here. It's like, we have a lot of sick puppies out there, both male and female. And to be fair, I think the number of masculines who are not well, who are dangerous to women, there's no argument that when men are sick, they are more likely to harm a woman permanently, if you get my drift. And there's no argument there. I think we all agree. Men who have never, ever, 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 taken someone's life can take supposedly the most important person's life, their own wives or girlfriends. We know this. This is without saying. But my point is that we need to normalize the understanding that when we're looking, this is why when people say, oh, we were the first female president, the first whatever, I give examples of women who were absolutely fucking brutal. Like Margaret Thatcher was brutal. There's no question she was an absolute rabid bitch. There you go, women in action. So it's, again, let's be better at what we're looking at. We need gentleness, honor, integrity, justice in our leadership, and we clearly don't have it. We're so busy running for the gender in our leaders or color of skin that we've missed the fucking truth of our souls. That's really why I'm doing this live. It's really to hone it down. What are your takeaways for that? Because it's really the most important thing isn't, and this is what Martin Luther King said, that people will judge you from the content of your character and not the color of your skin. I mean, fuck, he said that. And he understood that truth. I think many of us already understand that truth, but we're not living that truth. That's the problem I'm seeing. What are your thoughts?
I think I lost you for a minute there, Tony, but I did catch the ending, and what I'm was brought to was Andromeda Flames, one of her most recent posts, and it's they will divide you at in every aspect that they can, whether it's gender, race, and I even see it with age. I see so much, Gen X this and Boomer this and Millennial that, and even I sometimes get sucked into that the age, most definitely, because we feel like millennials tend to feel like, oh, boomers don't understand us and this and that, but we forget that this is a tactic to divide us. And when we're talking about the Hopi prophecy and we're talking about the rainbow children, it's everyone, it's every gender, it's every race, every color of skin, and also different ages, from your elders to the children.
Yeah. And it's funny, I'm going to tell you something about Andromeda Flame. She actually contacted me yesterday because on the portal of 8/8, I did 2 videos. One on race, the division of race and spirit in the spiritual community, which is being used, and one on the rainbow prophecy. And she did her post. We did it damn near simultaneously without talking to each other. So what's happening, and many of us across the planet are being asked to be the messengers of that reality and that pure truth, to understand that we are not to play into the game of divide and conquer through gender wars, gay wars, race wars, religious wars. None of it. None of it. We're supposed to drop the ball. Don't interact. Kind of like how your husband walked away. We have to walk away. We're not here to turn around and debate. We're not here to save their souls. Fuck that. We're here to bring in 5D. That's it. That's our only fucking focus. It's just eye of the tiger all the way. And Andromeda and I were talking and laughing, going, holy fuck, we came up with, it's like we're being downloaded this reality. And while people are pushing the agendas, and let's be clear, there are think tanks paying these content creators to create this garbage content meant to rage bait you. Is that true?
Yeah, I agree, because I had a couple good downloads myself on the 8/8 portal, and I was very like sky high and seeing wonderful videos about these children finally being saved in Gaza. and then it was like almost immediately I was seeing, Pete Hegseth's content and all of that coming out, and how women were going to lose their voting rights under him. And I'm like, oh, this is to bring the frequency back down, because we are sky high. We're
Right.
bringing in this healing, and here's something that they're going to toss in, and boom, we're going to bring you right back down. And I was like, this is not happening.
Well, I mean, you've got the Christian fascists, and that's how I'm going to call them, who are talking about how we are host bodies, and women were saying, is the fetus a parasite? Women are being, like you said, the removal of the ability to vote. They started that with the last name being the married name, and women having to change their name to legally then vote. Do you know how the average woman can't even afford to get a passport, much less doing the money it would take to legally change your name back, social security card, all of that, your banking information, all of that's going to cost at least $400 to $500 to go to court and change your name back to your maiden name, or to change everything. I mean, because it has to match your birth certificate when you vote next time. So they made sure to, you know what I mean? They're making sure to eradicate a woman's right to choose. Well, they've already done that. And a woman's right to, and here's, the woman's right to choose is really killing me. They are proposing, I'm not sure if this passed, where women who are leaving the state, say you're going to Texas, right? And you need to report that if you're pregnant, what is your fertility situation? Are you pregnant? Are you having your period? Whatever. Can you imagine this shit? And then if you come back and you're pregnant, you come back not being pregnant, yeah, you will be questioned. Because some women are leaving the state to have the procedures. And so literally women's fucking womb is being monitored, and it is now owned by the state and through the federal bullshit. And meanwhile, they're trying to rename who we are. We're no longer mothers. And so think tanks, what they do is they create a breadcrumbing of change. And they started that back during the lockdown. And before you know it, you're sitting there going, how the fuck did this all happen? We have no fucking rights left. And this is and what's happening is the mentality, and this is where I'm going to go right back to deviant sexual behaviors or desires. And why is it deviant? Because a hookup is I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you if you want to just, we've all gone through when we were kids, many of us have, some of you haven't, but some of us have, where there's a cute guy, you meet, you talk, and you have sex maybe twice, 3 times, maybe just for the month, whatever. And then you move on, okay? But by the time you're an adult, and a mark of an adult is going, I need a soul connection with sex. Okay, now that I've explained that, I hope to explain that part, is the concept of just, we have people who are so into their root chakra shit that they don't have enough brains to see what's happening. They are voting for candidates without reading the fine print. Senator Marjorie of Georgia admitted to that. The big, beautiful bill. Most of these senators most of our population is woefully ignorant, and they will sign shit in a hurry to have a good dinner. Senators to senators going to, whatever. So we have women and men who are absolutely ignorant, are debating, what race is more superior. Hours of debates on this shit. Instead of realizing that one by one, our rights are being literally written off the roster of holy documents. I'm going to say holy documents that created this country. And I think part of the reason why America is imploding is that when this country was created, African Americans, at the point that were Africans first coming in, Native American people coming in, were not thought of when the Declaration of Independence, when the amendments were created. This is a problem. It is a problem. And so moving into that whole idea of keeping our freedoms, we have a massive, massive population of people around the world who would rather see stupid shit on TV than sit and think. They'd rather get into sexual hookups, parties, drinking, whatever, however, to not think And then when they come to vote, they don't even know what they're voting for. This is why we're here today. This is the America we've been handed back to. It's all, in a weird way, you're going to think, Tony, how is that connected? No, it's all connected. Because a person that goes up to a man, making these comments, will vote because they're cute, will vote because they've been told to vote in that direction. What do you think of that? Because I know it sounds like, how is this connected? No, to me, stupidity is connected to where we are now. We've earned what we are currently living, sadly, because we have too many of these people that are fucking unconscious, bumping into walls, hooking up, shopping, wanting to see stupid videos, wanting to see wrestling matches, and not realizing. And then when it's time to vote, they have a right to vote, but they don't have the brains nor the knowledge, nor have they done any research on what they're going to vote on. It's to me, it's all connected.
I agree, it's connected, and it's the drowning system. People don't realize they're drowning, but it's the gladiator games, it's the circus, it's Rome, it's just a repetitive cycle, but it just looks different. I tell people this all the time. I don't know how people sit and watch sports. I don't know how people sit and pay money to watch UFC fighting. I just don't, for me, I don't understand it, and I do understand it because people are drowning, they're suppressing, to me, the soul, and really like they don't want to step out. This is what the problem is. They don't want to step out of the matrix because they know once that they do, they'll never be able to step back into it.
I agree. I was watching a live right now, and so it's these women selling these sticky buns and sticky sandwiches and sticky eggs on top of, and people are like 351 people are watching these women sell these sponge-like little things that look like sandwiches and this, that, and the other, and 351. I watched it for 5 minutes to see how many people were dropping. It was bouncing from 351 to 372 to 400. And I'm sitting there going, hang on. Meanwhile, people are doing things on Palestine, on women's rights, and I'll see at most 77 people on that live. I'm just saying, okay? I'm kind of bringing you all back to understanding what we're dealing with here. In terms of the majority of people out there in the world. They don't want to know shit. They want to be completely ignorant. They want to buy little marshmallow things at 60. I saw a woman literally spend $250 on these things. I'm not joking. And I'm like, we're fucked. In really thinking we're going to make these people go from zero, consciousness to even 4D consciousness. Good luck.
Yeah.
This is why I'm telling you guys, I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm saying hold your frequency, hold the line, keep walking, walk. More starseeds will join you in this walk to 5D. We are not here to save them. We are not here to wake them up. We are not here to educate. We are not here to turn around like you wanted. I get what you wanted, Rachel, but no, walk the fuck away. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, and I'm happy that we had this conversation because had I been there, and thank God I wasn't, I probably would have. Well, she probably wouldn't have said something to my husband, but it would have been very hard for me to not say, "This is why." But I do feel that women need to understand that it is inappropriate, and I feel like they do, but they're doing it anyway. But
they don't care. No, because this is one of the reasons why I quit Psychic Source. You understand? Because one of the reasons I couldn't do Psychic Source anymore because I just so you know, Psychic Source is a company that is they have no integrity at all. And I'll just be straight up. And I'd have women coming on, and it's not because of the clients I was having. It was just the way they run their business. That's a different story. But anyway, one of the deals that I had to deal with was women cheating with married, men. Okay. And then saying, will I get pregnant? I go, pregnant from who? Right? I mean, pregnant from who? Oh, from Joe. Joe who's married? Yeah. Well, Joe who's married is married with 3 kids. I'm sorry, you want to get pregnant? And she'd say, yeah, I want to get pregnant. And sometimes I would hang up. I would not take the reading. I'm like, I'm not talking to this, but I'm not doing this. This is stupid. But I can't tell you how often that was happening. Where women would say, he's really hot. He's in the office. And I'm like, yeah, but is he married? I do the reading, right? Is he married? And she, oh yeah, he's married. Yeah. I just want to know if we could hook up. And I go, well, And I had to tell the truth. Yeah, there's a possibility. There's a portal opening for that. And I'd say, but he's married, you know. I mean, and I don't see a soul connection here. So it's not even. I don't understand. Are you? Because I mean, well, I just want him for the summer. She can get him back when I'm done. I swear to you, that's what I was hearing that kind of shit. And I used to have also men that were really insane. Men with the stepdaughter, you know, in the house, men, and I'm not going to go into it. So I've seen some pretty dark things. Well, I've been exposed to it since I was like a kid. I've seen a lot of different things because of, you know, the way I was raised. But my point is, that really showed me in like in a couple years, I was like, holy fuck, there are a lot of people that just don't care. They just don't care that they're going to destroy marriage. They don't care. To be honest, to be fair to some of these women that do that, to be fair, is that the husband doesn't care either, clearly, and he doesn't want to get caught. But most of the time, what I found is that the husband was never going to leave his wife. It was just, they were there. It was free sex. Maybe they were not having sex with their wife. Maybe they just don't know how to be a good man with integrity who's loyal to his wife. But they would go for it, you know, and they would go for it. So to be fair, the woman, you know, bring that on. And what's fabulous about, you know, your husband is that he's not going for that shit. He's got integrity. He's got, you know, absolute root chakra control, and that is power. The divine masculine shows himself up with what he says no to. Saying yes to getting laid is, and like I said before, and I tell that to my client, anyone can get laid. You go to a 5-star restaurant, order a glass of wine, wear high heels, or wear a suit, and somebody's going to come up to you within probably a 2-hour window. You might not even have to wait that long. It is not hard to get laid. What's hard is to say no, especially if the woman or the man is very attractive. To say no, now that's power. What are your thoughts on that? How do you see it?
I agree.
Yeah. And what do you think women should, you know, do? Because with women that are friends, I mean, if you're getting, I'm going to give you some advice, okay? All of you. There was a very famous movie star who was playing around with his wife's best friend. Okay? And the best friend would tell everything. I mean, the wife would tell everything to her best friend about what she didn't want or didn't like about her husband. And that best friend was using that information to get to the husband, who was a movie star. And what I'm going to say to all of you is, if you get a feeling about a woman, and you men, if you get a feeling about your supposed male friend, just go with it. You're probably right. Because I go with feelings. They're unexplainable. Like just recently, I had a feeling about someone, and sure enough, I was correct. I was doing a live last night, and I had told one of my clients something about OAC 2 years ago. And he was like, no, you're wrong. She's this, she that. And today I said, do you remember what I said about OAC? And he said, yeah. And I go, I was right. And he was, yeah, you were right. And I said, no, but I'm not happy to be right. It doesn't make me happy to be right. What am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to say, listen to your feelings. You will not know the truth maybe for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It doesn't matter. Listen to it and cut them loose. Do not bring snakes into your home. Do not cater to that bullshit. Do you want to add anything to that, Rachel, before we go?
Something I want to add is that, you know people that are like this, right? For me, I think I'm more like kind of also focused on like the friend who didn't say anything. The woman that stood beside her and let these words come out of her friend's mouth. And I had a friend like that. So like I would have never said anything like that, but I was the wild friend who made bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And so if you're the friend that's watching your friend make bad decisions, gently say something to them. Let them know, like, hey, if you're going to continue to be this way, like, I don't think we can continue this friendship. And this is why. Because sometimes those people, for them to change and realize and stop self-imploding is for that one friend to say, this isn't going to work out for me anymore, and this is why. And it might be that light bulb that goes off for them that says, oh, I'm losing a friendship because I'm not behaving in a manner that is respectable.
Right. And I think that you can say that, but mostly because I've had a friend like that, and I had to cut her loose, because friends like that can also put you in a weird situation. Friends like that can actually put you in a dangerous situation, because if you are the savior, if you are the badass friend, if they act like that, they can put you in a dangerous situation. Just like a woman can put you in a dangerous situation. Watch the movie Body Heat, case in point. And a man can put you in a dangerous situation, right? So it's like we have to like realize that sometimes explaining, like, I get you, I'm not into ghosting and cutting people off and shit like that. I like to explain, say, you know, I can't offer you friendship because X, Y, and Z. I get it. But at some point, sometimes you gotta like understand your audience, sit with that, meditate with that, and go, is it really worth me? Because if I'm gonna go back and forth with I'm not gonna volleyball this shit. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. So the main thing is to keep your energy straight. I'm never that hard on you know, forgiveness, but and letting go of people. I'm usually kind of soft about it, believe it or not. But right now, something is happening. A massive divergence is happening. I did a whole thing on Project Looking Glass. Please check it out on YouTube on what's happening. And I need all of us. This is why I'm doing like little meditate with me sessions, okay? Because I know you guys need your meditations. I know you need to get your nervous system clear. I know you need to focus, and you do not have time. Like I said, I'm just going to say it. You don't have time for bullshit anymore. This is the 9th hour in 2025. This is the 9th hour. And what we lay down as a foundation will affect the next 10 years. I kid you not. Now, we win. It's already been determined. Check out Project Looking Glass. Look at other videos, not just mine, but other videos. You'll understand what I'm saying. But the elite know they're losing. But the problem is that we are being slammed with all kinds of distractions. Icebergs grabbing people. Zombies doing what they're doing. And more things. Right now, water across the world, aqueducts, rivers, lakes are being bought out by corporations. It's not a joke, because water is life. Water is life. So there's a lot of, so we need to push the planet to 5D. This is not a joke anymore. It's not, and 5D is not a match to these fuckers. It's not, actually, right? Do you have any insight on that, my beautiful sister, on how important it is that we push into 5D no matter what? Because if they are buying up water and privatizing water, like Nestle CEO famously said, swear to God, I'm quoting him, having water is not a human right. I swear to God. This is not a joke. These people, there's a level of evil that all of you can't wrap your head around. You can't. You're trying to figure it out. Don't figure it out. I don't want you to deconstruct evil. This is not your job to deconstruct evil and to understand what happened to them because they didn't get their Crayolas and their milk and cookies. We're not here to figure out their childhood trauma. I don't give a fuck. What are your thoughts on the 5D and why we need to? I mean, it's not, we have to, it's the 9th hour.
Yeah, there's a strong push, and I've shared this with you, so I'll share this with the collective, is that my Reiki master, who does not know Tony at all, has been talking about the same things and doing the meditations in water and working with water and talking to water and using it to heal the collective. And we've seen what Pachamama and water have been doing. Things are happening within Pachamama, within inside her. And I think it's because we are pushing, and she is working on cleansing things out. But it is dire, in my opinion, to right now be working on your meditations. And more importantly, if you were to ask me, in water, whether it's just dipping your toes in the water, getting in a bathtub, having a bowl of water next to you, and try to make it as clean as possible. I know some people, you know, we can talk to our water all day long, but the cleaner, in my humble opinion, the better. And also salt water is there's a frequency, a higher frequency. It's a faster conduit if it's salt water.
Yes.
And there's been scientific studies on that. And so it's just pushing and utilizing and connecting with Pachamama and doing your meditations with her, not just, in your room on a pillow or a blanket, but get outside, whether it's
Exactly.
more importantly, I feel like in the water. I mean, everyone's talking about it. There's no coincidence that multiple healers have said and gotten downloads, water. We need to be working with water, and they don't know each other.
Exactly. And again, the book you need to buy, besides Dr. Emoto's water studies, he has a couple books on that. And he was the first to actually break down the emotions of water that reflects our own emotions and our mindset through not just our emotions, but sound, music, rock and roll, acid rock too, or hateful words as opposed to mellifluous sounds and so forth. But the new one that is really breaking the code of water, her name is Veda, Veda Austin, like Austin, Texas. And look up her book, The Languages of Water, or The Language of Water. I have a video I did. It's a 28-minute song. It's on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. And the cover of the book is like there. You'll see the cover. And the way she breaks down, the way she photographed water is insane in a beautiful way. So Rachel's absolutely right. And we know the wisdom, but don't you find it interesting? And I want to leave because I really want to know, what do you think about the elites privatizing water? So would that mean that they're not just doing it to privatize and profit from drinking water, but they're also doing it to prevent us from accessing the power, the ability of water to heal and magnetize our manifestation?
Yes, because again, like one of my downloads is like the dirtier the water, it's not that you can't clean it, it's going to take longer. So you're going to spend more time energetically trying to first cleanse this water and get it clean to then go on and use it as a healing tool or a meditative tool or a conduit to healing the planet. And if they're polluting, let's say they're polluting all of the water systems, which they're doing in the United States, they're already doing that. Yeah. They're polluting all of the water systems. Where are we going to get clean water from? Okay, now I have to buy bottled water, right? And most people are buying that green bottle, Mountain something. A lot of my crunchy people are buying that. Or they're buying those really expensive Kangen machines. I can't afford a Kangen machine. To put a Kangen machine on your house is like $10,000 for the cheapest system.
On the house. I mean, if you do it, I think it's like 4,000, and I think they have a cheap one for 2,000. Because I used to use Kangen like for where they have they dispense the Kangen water for free. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do. And I used to get like jars and jars of Kangen water, meaning gallon containers. I'd buy their approved gallon containers. But the other thing they can put into the water that they sell you is fluoride, which calcifies the pineal gland. So you know what I'm saying? So the only water you have access to is that kind of water.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even the springs aren't clean anymore. I mean, they've been testing the water here where I live locally. All the rivers are not clean. They're not sanitary. They're full of E. coli and parasites. So they even had people like not getting in the rivers because they were like, it's not safe. You can't get in the rivers right now because they're dumping what was supposed to be clean sanitation. And people need to start looking into their sanitation companies and their septic companies because they're also dumping unsanitary, what they would consider clean waters into your rivers, into your streams. We just had our septic looked at because our drain field had failed. Their resolution was taking the pipe from the septic field because there's nowhere to put a new septic field and putting it straight into the stream. And my jaw dropped because I was like, that's not sanitary. It's more sanitary, which the government got rid of here in the state that I'm in, to have a dish box was what they used to have. And they would come and pump the box and then it would go to a sanitary plant and they would cleanse it. They use chlorine. They're supposed to do all of these things to it. They're not doing that anymore, but then they're wondering, why are our rivers and streams dirty? Well, because you got rid of the way to get them to be clean.
Well, one of the things I know for a fact is that there's different fungi, aka mushrooms, fungi, that you can release on lakes, rivers. In fact, there was the spill in Pennsylvania, and there were people who are biologists, engineers, scientists who were saying all they need to, and we're talking about hippie type thinkers, right?
Right.
Off the grid thinkers who were saying. By the way, all of you watch the documentary Fungi on Amazon or wherever you can find it, probably on YouTube by now, because they can actually release certain fungi that will actually clean that shit up in a year. It'll be clean as fucking just perfect. So it's not that they can't; it's that they won't, and they don't want to.
Exactly.
It's like talking to the wall. But I gotta go. I know you have things to do, but what a great conversation, and how we traveled from that to this. And to be honest with you, it's about consciousness. It's all related. And so the putrid consciousness out there, I need you not to figure it out. We don't have time for you to fucking get distracted by people's bullshit. Stay in your lane. I'm not joking at this point. Stay in your spiritual lane. My job and people like me are here to say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is evil, this is unjust. Let's keep going into 5D. Because we need to, it's kind of like a woman that's been diagnosed with the big C, and they tell her, yeah, it's in your left lung. She can now work on, if this is her fate, to transmute the energies, to heal the cells, blah, 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 right? So we need to know what we're dealing with, and then we have to double down on our meditations and manifesting the new earth. All our problems, many of the problems that we're dealing with, that we have dealt with in many incarnations, literally transform and fall away. And the people that have led us can go. I don't care. God bless them wherever they end up, but they will not end up in 5D. They're not a match. People that have any trauma in their root chakra, you figure your shit out. Go into therapy. Figure that shit out and heal it. Because when you have problems in that root chakra, in the sacral and the hara, you have shame. There's shame there. There's self-loathing. And you have to be honest with that shit. If you're not willing to be honest, it's not that you're evil. It's that you need to understand what needs to be healed. What are your last thoughts, my love?
No, I wholeheartedly agree, and that's what changed my life, was realizing, oh, I need to work on myself. I need to fix what it is about me that's making me act out in such an inappropriate way. So it starts with the self. There's no one would have been able to tell me, I don't think. I mean, I had a couple friends that really pushed me, and had I not had them, I don't know where I would have ended up. But I do agree. It starts with the self and realizing that, oh, I need to deal with this.
Right. And Immortal Warrior says, heavy light, light, and light. Exactly. Let's leave it there. Thank you. Much love. If you want to see this whole live in its entirety, it'll be on YouTube. And please follow Rachel. She's a doula. She's a healer. Follow her. And much love to you all. Namaste. Be well.